My wife threatens to end her life if I defend my family's harsh words against her. Torn between her fragile emotions and my judgmental mom and brother, I skip a wedding to avoid disaster, leaving me trapped in guilt and silence. Hey everyone, my name's Isaac. I'm 28 years old, and I've been sitting on this mess for a while now, trying to figure out what the hell to do. I figured I'd throw it out here on Reddit and see what you all think, because I'm honestly at my breaking point. So here's the deal. My wife, Nora, who's 26, has been threatening to kill herself if I ever stand up for my family when she's going off on them. Yeah, it's as heavy as it sounds, and it's been eating me alive trying to navigate this. I'll break it down for you step by step, because there's a lot to unpack here. Nora and I have been married for 3 years, together for 5. She's the kind of person who wears her heart on her sleeve, super passionate, super emotional, but also quick to take things personally. She's got a sharp tongue when she's upset, and she doesn't hold back. I love her, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's like walking on eggshells. Me, I'm more laid back. I don't like conflict, and I tend to just roll with things to keep the peace. My family, though, they're loud, opinionated, and not afraid to call it like they see it. You can probably already see where this is heading. The main issue kicked off about a year ago. My mom's always been the type to speak her mind, and she's never been Nora's biggest fan. She thinks Nora's too dramatic and controls me too much. Nora, on the other hand, thinks my mom's overbearing and judgmental. Honestly, they're both kind of right, but I'm stuck in the middle trying to keep everyone from blowing up. It started with little digs. Mom saying stuff like, "Oh, Nora's got you on a short leash, huh?" And Nora firing back with, "At least I don't treat my son like he's still 12. I'd just laugh it off or change the subject, but over time, it's gotten worse. Then there's my brother, Elijah, who's 31. He's the golden child in my mom's eyes, successful, married to Hannah, who's 29, and they've got a 2-year-old kid. Elijah's chill most of the time, but he's got this sarcastic streak that Nora can't stand. Hannah's quieter, but she's super close to my mom, which Nora takes as some kind of personal attack. Like, Nora's convinced Hannah's secretly talking crap about her behind her back, even though I've never seen any proof of that. It's all this tangled family dynamic stuff that I didn't think would turn into a full-on crisis. But here we are. The first big blowout happened last Easter. We were all at my parents' house. Me, Nora, Elijah, Hannah, my mom and dad, the whole crew. Everything was fine until my mom made some offhand comment about how Nora never helps in the kitchen. It wasn't even a big deal, just mom being her usual blunt self, but Nora took it like a slap in the face. She stormed out to the backyard, and I followed her to calm her down. She was crying, saying stuff like, "Your family hates me, and you don't even care." I told her that wasn't true, that mom's just like that with everyone, but she wasn't having it. That's when she dropped the bomb. "If you ever take their side over mine, I don't know what I'll do to myself. I can't live like this." I froze. Like, what do you even say to that? I hugged her, told her I loved her, and promised I'd always have her back. I figured she was just upset and didn't mean it literally. But it stuck with me, you know? That was the first time she said something like that, and it planted this seed of dread in my gut. Things got quiet for a couple months after that. I tried to limit how much time we spent with my family, making excuses like, "Work's crazy," or "Nora's not feeling great." But then came my dad's birthday in July. We couldn't skip it. Dad's turning 60, big milestone, and Elijah guilt-tripped me into showing up, saying, "Come on, man, it's Dad. You can't bail." So we went, and I told Nora beforehand, "Let's just keep it short and sweet, okay? No drama." She nodded, but I could tell she was already on edge. Sure enough, about an hour in, Elijah made some dumb joke about how Nora's allergic to family gatherings. It was stupid, not even that mean, but Nora flipped. She stood up, voice shaking, and went off. "I'm sick of all of you acting like I'm the problem. You're toxic, and Isaac's too blind to see it." My mom jumped in, saying, "Maybe if you weren't so sensitive, we wouldn't have to tiptoe around you." It turned into this shouting match, and I just sat there like an idiot, not knowing whose side to take. Eventually, Nora grabbed her bag and said, "Isaac, we're leaving." Now, I followed her out, but not before my mom yelled after me, "You're letting her run your life." In the car, Nora was sobbing. I tried to say something neutral, like, "They didn't mean it like that," but she cut me off. Don't you dare defend them. If you do, I swear I'll hurt myself. I can't take this anymore. There it was again, that threat. My stomach dropped, and I just shut up and drove home. We didn't talk for the rest of the night. Since then, it's been this constant tightrope walk. Every time my family says something remotely critical about Nora, and trust me, they've got plenty to say, she spirals. And every time, she brings up killing herself if I don't back her up 100%. It's not even just big fights now, it's little stuff too. Like, my dad called last week to ask why we never visit. And when I told Nora about it, she got quiet and said, "If you tell him it's because of me, I don't know what I'll do." I ended up lying to him, saying I've been swamped at work, but I hate lying. I hate all of this. On top of that, there's this other mess with Elijah and Hannah. They've been trying to get me to hang out more, just the three of us, because they think Nora's isolating me. Hannah's sweet about it. She'll text me stuff like, "We miss you, Isaac. Let's grab a beer sometime." But if I even mention it to Nora, she loses it. She's convinced they're trying to turn me against her. One time, I suggested maybe we could all do dinner together, try to smooth things over, and Nora accused me of choosing them over her. She locked herself in the bathroom for an hour, and I could hear her crying through the door. I didn't push it after that. The thing is, I get where Nora's coming from, sort of. My family can be a lot. My mom's never been warm and fuzzy, and Elijah's sarcasm doesn't help. But I also don't think they're these evil monsters she makes them out to be. They're just my family. Flawed, sure, but I love them. And I love Nora too, obviously, or I wouldn't still be here trying to figure this out. But I'm starting to feel like I'm losing myself in all this. I can't talk to my family without worrying about Nora's reaction, and I can't talk to Nora without feeling like I'm betraying them. There's this one memory that keeps popping into my head. Before we got married, Nora and I used to laugh about how different our families were. Her parents are quiet, reserved, total opposites of mine. We'd joke about how we'd balance each other out. But now it's like that difference is a wedge between us. I miss how things used to be, when she could roll her eyes at my mom's comments and let it go, or when I could vent about Elijah without her taking it as an attack on her. Last weekend was the breaking point, and it's why I'm here spilling my guts on Reddit. My cousin's getting married, and my mom begged me to come to the wedding. She was practically in tears on the phone, saying, "Isaac, you're pulling away from us. Please don't let her keep you from this." I told her I'd talk to Nora about it. Big mistake. When I brought it up, Nora went white and said, "If you go to that wedding without me, I won't be here when you get back." I mean it. I asked what she meant, and she just stared at me, tears streaming down her face, and said, "You know what I mean." I didn't go. I told my mom some bullshit excuse about a work emergency, but I could tell she didn't buy it. Elijah called me later and flat out said, "Dude, you're letting her control you. This isn't healthy." And maybe he's right, but what am I supposed to do? Call her bluff? What if it's not a bluff? I can't live with that on my conscience. I keep replaying all these moments in my head. Like, is this my fault for not setting boundaries with my family sooner? Should I have shut down my mom's comments from the start? Or is Nora overreacting, and I'm just enabling her by caving every time? I feel like a coward either way. I've tried talking to her about getting help, therapy, maybe, but she shuts it down, saying, "I'm not the crazy one here. Your family is." I don't know how to convince her without making it worse. The house feels different now too. It's quiet, tense. We used to have these little routines, cooking dinner together, watching dumb shows, laughing about nothing. Now it's like we're roommates who barely talk. I'll catch her staring out the window sometimes, and I wonder what's going through her head. Is she serious about these threats? Or is it just her way of keeping me in line? I hate that I even have to ask that. I've got no one to talk to about this in real life. My friends are either single and clueless or busy with their own stuff. Elijah's too biased toward the family, and I can't dump this on Hannah. She'd just tell him anyway. So I'm here, typing this out at 2 a.m. because I can't sleep. I keep picturing my mom's disappointed face, Nora's tear-streaked one, and I feel like I'm failing everyone. So yeah, that's my mess. I don't even know what I'm asking for here. Advice, validation, a reality check? Am I the one screwing up by not standing up to Nora? Or am I in the wrong for even thinking about siding with my family when she's this fragile? I just want to stop feeling like every choice I make is a ticking time bomb. What do you all think? Am I the problem here?
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our daily updates.